Today we're going to talk about the digital economy in e-commerce. E-commerce and online shopping has become increasingly popular because of the speed and ease of use for customers. Now, e-commerce is usually seen as the process of buying and selling products or services using modern technology. You can use e-commerce to promote your brand, to get more customers, to increase your sales, to provide better service, and to offer after-sale services for your customers. Unfortunately, nowadays, oftentimes we're running around with our smartphones and cell phones of various kinds, like zombies, basically. But see, this also provides opportunities for businesses because people are no longer limited to buying only when they're in your stores or in your company premises. So they are buying products anywhere, anytime, even when they're obviously studying in a classroom, they can still be buying products or at least be influenced to buy a product later on. So the development and growth of e-commerce has a little bit of a history, but it's not really a long history because we began talking about this back in the 1960s and 70s, and the growth really started to take place just over the last couple of decades. So internet has changed the way people buy, sell, hire, organize business activities, and conduct business activities with their customers, suppliers, and obviously vendors all over the world. It has resulted in more rapid communication and transaction than any other technology in the history of the world. People are now engaging in commerce, usually have to adopt available tools and technologies, and those tools and technologies do change very quickly. We usually talk about the two waves of e-commerce, first wave and second waves. In the first wave, investors sought internet-driven business models as they had expectations of rapid sales growth and market dominance. In the first wave, we saw copying of successful .com business models to make money. So the first wave of e-commerce ended around the year 2000, and the second wave began right after that. And the second wave focuses on improving specific business processes using, obviously, e-commerce. So some other characteristics in terms of regional scope, we saw the first wave was basically a U.S. phenomenon for e-commerce, where the second wave of e-commerce became more international as millions of people around the world are using the internet and obviously buying and selling products. In terms of startup, the first wave, we saw that capital was easy to obtain. In the second wave, companies started using their own internal funds to obviously start and create e-commerce business or activities. In terms of technologies, for the first wave, it was fairly slow. We had dial-up for the internet. In the second wave, we saw DSL or broadband connections, which were much faster. In the first wave of e-commerce activities, we noticed that it existed without setting specific or measurable goals. There were plenty of investors for highly speculative activities, and success and failures were measured in broad strokes. Where in the second wave of e-commerce activities, we see that businesses are taking a closer look at the benefits and costs of implementing e-commerce technologies. There is much better implementation plan because people set specific objectives for benefits that they will achieve as a result of the cost of e-commerce. So in the second wave, we are focused much more on business models or revenue models. So a business model is basically a set of processes that are combined to achieve the company's goal of yielding a profit. And e-commerce is now integrated as a necessary part of staying in business. With regards to e-commerce, we need to understand a little bit about the network effect. And this relates to the law of diminishing return, which we study in economics. So in economics, we learned that law of diminishing returns means activities yielding less value as consumption amount increases. For example, when you're eating your first hamburger, you enjoy it. When it comes to the second hamburger or third hamburger, obviously the value tends to decrease. Sorry for those of you who are vegetarians. Now, the network effect is the exact opposite of this. So it's exception to the law of diminishing returns. As more and more organizations and people participate in a network, the value of the network for each participant seems to increase. So think about, for example, social media. The more people become a member of a specific website or a community of online organization, then obviously the benefit increases for all individuals. So what is a virtual community? A virtual community or a web community or online community is simply a gathering place for people in businesses that do not have a physical existence. Now, there's the social networking sites, which allows individuals to create and publish a profile, to create a list of other users with whom they share connection. And obviously they are able to control that list and monitor similar lists made by other users as part of this community or social website. When you're selling online using your own website, you can obviously do quite a number of things, but an essential element would be to process online sales transaction. So for this you would need at least 3 elements: a shopping cart, a secure server, and some sort of payment processing. So a shopping cart software usually keeps track of what the user selects to buy from the website before proceeding to the checkout. So this online shopping cart usually consists of some kind of product catalog, a list of shopping items, and some sort of a checkout system for the process. The shopping list allows users to track the items that they want to purchase. Now, the shopping cart image is usually used to show what items the shopper has selected for purchase. So in order for the shopping cart to function properly, the user's computer must be set to allow cookies. The checkout system allows customers to select products by clicking in Add Item to Cart button, and then that enables them to pay for these products. In online commerce, we need to understand shopping cart abandonment concept. Shopping cart abandonment refers to specifically those visitors who add items to the online shopping cart but exit without purchasing those orders, without completing the purchase. So in other words, they are impulse buyers. They want to buy this, they want to buy that, but obviously before they purchase and pay for it, they exit. So that's what we call shopping cart abandonment. Another element that's needed obviously here for online commerce is a secure server. Servers are the backbone of the internet. They are computers linked by communication lines which serve up information in the form of text, graphics, and multimedia to online computers that request them. Secure socket layer, otherwise known as SSL, is the most commonly used technology for secure online transactions. The secure socket layer encrypts or codes all data between the shopper's server and the customer's computer. This makes it very difficult for third parties to decode any information that's exchanged between, obviously, the customer and the organization, such as their credit card numbers. We have to be concerned about the concept of phishing or even hackers. So phishing refers to sending an email to a user and falsely claiming to be an established legitimate enterprise in an attempt to deceive the user into surrendering private information that will be used for identity theft. And theft and identity theft obviously is a very big problem nowadays for all organizations. As we've seen over the last few years, big organizations were hacked and data were retrieved about customers from those companies' websites and sometimes secure servers. So shopping carts do not deal with the entire transaction. They simply pass information to a payment gateway. There are several payment processing options. One would be a third-party payment processing. Another would be internet merchant account that any business can apply for. Third would be a manual offline payment processing. Fourth would be an on-demand payment gateway. And another option would be mobile commerce scanners, which seem to be very popular nowadays. In terms of third-party processing providers, they seem to charge a transaction fee, including a percentage of the sale plus a flat fee for each transaction. So charges are usually based on the number of transactions, which may be appropriate obviously for small businesses or where the number of transactions is somewhat limited for the organization. So you can also set up an e-commerce website where users can order online, but you process credit cards manually rather than relying on online payment processing options. So with this option, the credit card information can be obtained through a secure server, and the transaction can be processed manually by your employees in the organization. This option is feasible when you have a limited number of online orders. So online shopping is becoming increasingly popular because of its speed as well as ease of use for customers. And obviously, when you're having customers come to your website, you have to figure out, how do I keep them on my website a little bit longer? This concept is known as stickiness, keeping visitors at a site and attracting repeat visitors over and over. So customers can be exposed to more advertising in a sticky website. There's also the concept of channel conflict, otherwise known as cannibalization. This is where company website sales activities tend to interfere with your existing sales outlets. For example, companies like Levi's and even Publix created an online component. So for example, with Publix, it was Publix Direct, a separate company that they created to sell groceries online. In those online elements competed with existing channels or stores. Some firms' websites do not sell products to avoid cannibalization. They offer the website as obviously an element of branding or promoting or offering certain services to customers, but they tend to not sell products. So some sites can provide product variety in retail distributor information to customers. In terms of web strategy for attracting and retaining visitors, we know that in the service sector there should be an increase in customization as human delivered services are being replaced by web and service systems. What do we mean by customization? It's a potential of the web which is that we can use mass customization and make it work successfully as other companies have done, like Dell Computers, for example. So customization will enable customized services to each customer based on his or her unique demography or certain traits. All customers can get more or less exactly what they want, tailored to what is unique to them in their specific circumstances. The really important aspect of this customization is that by mass customization, a firm can learn from its customers on a regular basis. In a way, you're sort of keeping your finger on the pulse of the customer. As the customer's needs change, you can obviously adapt and adjust your operation to offer them what is needed in a timely manner. This way, your organization can be sustainable. Sustainability of operations requires that modern businesses become truly customer-oriented by pleasing and delighting customers better than their competitors on a consistent basis every single time the customer shops with them. So organizations need to be concerned with sustainable attractiveness, which is the ability to create and maintain a site that continues to attract targeted stakeholders. So you need to establish a good brand image for sustainable attractiveness. There are some attractors that can never be imitated, for which there are few substitutes. No other beverage company, for example, can have a Coke museum, whether it's real or virtual. So strategies for attractors can be number one, broad attraction. Number two, specialized attraction. Number three could be personalized attractor. Now, broad attraction is basically useful for communicating with a number of types of stakeholders or many of people in one category of stakeholders. Specialized attraction appeals more to a narrow audience, providing solution to a particular class of problem or a service center. It is about providing service to a specific group of stakeholders or a segment of your customers. The personalized attractors is basically an interactive relationship with individual customers that are very unique in some trait or characteristic. So it means we need to be adaptable and have adaptable attractors which can be customized for each visitor and by each visitor. Nowadays, we see opportunities for smaller companies to compete with big giant companies using e-commerce all over the globe. We're seeing the death of distance. There is homogenization of time as day and night are no longer necessarily the traditional norms of business in sleep and peak, and people can be buying in daytime, at nighttime, or even while other people are sleeping, your company can be selling products, obviously all through e-commerce. We're also noticing the irrelevance of location as commerce takes place from home, from work, and while people are obviously studying and traveling. When it comes to the death of distance, think about leading and enabling commerce around the globe, making new opportunities available, reducing shipping time and cost, lower transaction cost, reducing inventory cost, having a competitive business advantage because distance is no longer a problem for selling through e-commerce, and obviously reducing supply chain management. In terms of homogenization of time, no more time constraints for anybody. You can sell products and buy products 24 hours a day. Think about education is no longer time or place bounded. Students can take courses obviously while they travel, while they work, while they spend time with their family members, and while they're on the beach. You can sell while you sleep. Every day can be your Black Friday or even Cyber Monday. And in terms of irrelevance of location, we now have access to more distant and disparate markets than ever before. In order to build a great brand, you must create raving fans from your existing customers who can promote your service and product asynchronously through word of mouth with their social media connections on a regular basis. And customer-centric approach puts the customer at the center of all your website designs. So number one, make visitors' web experiences more efficient, effective, and memorable every time they are on your website. Number two, focus on meeting all of your site visitors' needs. And number three, being customer-centric is an important part of successful electronic business operation. So you must have good customer relationship management skills and knowledge. Keep in mind the elements of service, the intangibility, simultaneity, heterogeneity, and perishability. Intangibility means services are intangible. They cannot be seen, held, or touched. Simultaneity means producers and consumers have to be present when the service is being enacted or used or consumed. Heterogeneity means service quality can vary and mistakes happen in real time, being observed by both the customer as well as obviously the employee or the person providing it. So we need to standardize for efficiency. And perishability means because services are produced and consumed simultaneously, they cannot be inventoried, stored, or kept for tomorrow. In e-commerce, we need to create trust and loyalty. In other words, you need to create relationship value. Good service leads to seller trust in delivery, in order handling, in helping select products, and as well as after-sale support. Satisfactory service builds customer loyalty over time. You also need to consider mass media advertising, but keep in mind that mass media advertising often offers lowest trust level. However, it can still be used successfully because cost spreads over many people. For highly complex products, you need face-to-face contact. However, the website obviously can be used for both simple products to advertise to mass media, as well as to sell complex products by creating one-on-one segmentation and personalized service to individuals and to give people more information about the product or consumption of product. Market segmentation divides potential customer pool into segments defined as demographic characteristics terms. So for example, micro-marketing is the practice of targeting very small market segments. There are three categories to identify market segments: geographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, as well as psychographic segmentation, which usually refers to personality, social class, and lifestyle of your customers. For example, television advertisers use all three categories. So, there are 5 stages of customer loyalty. How do we move them from awareness about our products to exploring our products to familiarity with our products to being committed to your product or service? And obviously the last stage means separation, where we do not want our customers to be in. So when it comes to effective advertising, it involves communication on a regular basis and on a consistent basis. The 5-stage customer loyalty model can be very helpful in creating advertising messages. For awareness stage, you advertise messages that inform customers about your product. In exploration stage, the message should explain how the product or service works and encourage people to switch brands to your company. On the familiarity stage, messages should be persuasive to convince customers to buy your product. In the commitment stage, you send customers reminders about the product. So you tell them what the product is basically offering for them, how helpful it can be, or what is new about the product, so they continue to buy more of your product as they need it. And obviously on the separation stage, customers are not targeted at all. Overall, consider the various elements of creating a strong brand: differentiation, relevance, and perceived value in what they mean to the customer. In terms of differentiation, ask yourself, in what significant ways is this product or service unlike its competitors? In terms of relevance, how does this product or service fit into my life? That's what the customer wants to know. And in terms of perceived value, is this product or service good compared to all other available items? How is this different? Remember that different is not always better, but better is always different. So be the best you can be better, deliver more value, whether you use traditional means of business or obviously e-commerce technologies. When dealing with customers, welcome your customers and treat them like guests, like kings, like queens. Use their names whenever you can. Take care of their needs. Thank them for coming to your organization, to your website, to your company, and for buying or selling or using your services. And obviously always have a way of inviting them back to come back to your website or to your company. Technology can be used to enhance your brand, to deliver more value, and obviously to make your company more profitable. Winston Churchill once said that a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. Success in life can never be an accident. It's the result of right decisions at the right time. Champions are not the people who never fail, but the people who never quit. Good luck making successful waves in the modern digital economy. Now, let us see what Dr. Noel Fernandez has to say about the importance of being engaged in the digital economy.
So why is digital so important? Why should we understand digital? It's because digital has changed human behavior. The way people are reacting and behaving now, it has changed. So we need to understand these changes so that we can apply these digital marketing strategies. This course is not about how to use digital marketing techniques or some technical things. I'm just giving an overall view of how powerful digital has become. And digital disruption, how digital is disrupting industries. People were doing things in one way, now people are doing things the other way. Used to go to the store to buy stuff, now we're buying things on the internet, e-commerce. Digital is changing all these things. Okay, so I think, do you know examples of traditional marketing, how people used to do marketing before the internet came? Some examples. Like I can give one example like television. People used to advertise on television. Any other medium that you think people used to advertise? Radio? Yes, exactly, radio. Microphone. Microphone, yes, announcing, yeah. Newspaper, yes. Pamphlets. Yes, pamphlets, yeah.
Magazines.
Sorry?
Magazines.
Medicines.
Magazines,
yes, exactly. So these are the, I think, these were the traditional ways of marketing. People used to market that way. Until now, in 2017, people have learned in their textbooks that this is the way it has to be marketed. Nobody is really using the advantage of digital to market their products. So this was traditional marketing, and the new marketing, which is the digital marketing, is email, it is the World Wide Web, and social media. These are the three main channels of digital marketing, and not many companies are using it, and even if they're using it, they're doing a little bit here, a little bit there, but their mindset is not digital. They're just doing a little bit, okay, I'll have my website, I'll have a Facebook page, and I will see how it goes. That's not how digital works. You have to have knowledge of how digital works in order to really succeed in scaling your company. So if you look at our own usage, right? How much time do we spend watching TV now? Or how much time do you spend listening to radio or reading magazines or newspapers? And if you compare that with the time that we spend on the phone or on the computer, on the laptop, it's different, right? So, okay, I think older people, they might read more newspapers and watch more TV. But the new generation, the Y generation, the Z generation, actually people were born after 2000. They don't even know what newspaper is. They were born with laptop and a tablet in their hands. If you give them a magazine, they'll try to poke it like this thing. Why this tablet is not working? Because the mindset has changed. They just think this is what it is. So these are some figures that I want to bring to you to show you how digital is really changing. Look at the total number of active users in the world. 3.7 billion people are on the internet. That's almost 50% of the world population. They're using the internet. And how many people have mobile phones? 3.4 billion people have mobile phones. They're using mobile phones or tablets or something that is mobile, which is almost 46% of the world population. There are so many people doing this, and if you go and market where the people are, I think you are in the wrong place, right? So this is what I wanted to bring to you guys. And look at the way it's growing. It's not stagnant. It's not, okay, 3.5 billion and fall out. No. It's growing every year, 10%, 21%.
As mentioned by Dr. Noel Fernandez, the opportunities for e-commerce growth are enormous. So make sure that your company does not stay too far behind. Good luck in your e-commerce initiatives.